Welcome to episode 3 of the Shane Fletcher Show, sponsored by Hidden Grove RV Park. My name is Scotty Mahan of Tomahawk Sports Media. Joining us tonight is Honey Grove Warrior AD and head coach Shane Fletcher. Glad to have you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Good to be here.
Before we get started with tonight's episode of the Shane Fletcher Show, we want to take a moment and pay our respects to the over 3,000 people who lost their lives on this day 23 years ago when hijackers crashed into the Pentagon and the World Trade Centers. Do you remember where you were when that happened?
Yes, sir. We were coaching in Howe, Texas, and I was actually in class, and they come in and said that we were being attacked at first, is what they told me, and you know, of course we were, but we were attacked by our own plane that was hijacked. It was a scary time. It was a real scary time.
Yeah, I was on my way to PJC. I had a history class that morning, and it was in the library. And I remember there was a guy following me to school that morning, and he called me and said, "Hey, pull over." And he's like, "Turn on your radio." And, of course, the only radio station I could get was 101.9 K-Bus, and they were broadcasting. And the way I understood it, it was like some plane hit a building in New York. You know, I mean, I'm an 18-year-old kid. I didn't have a clue what was going on. And then I got to school, and of course, they had the TVs on in the library, and man, it just saw the chaos and the havoc. And, you know, 23 years later, here we are, and we're hoping to get back to where we were as a nation on September 12th, you know, where nothing bothered us. But before we get started, I just want to thank Roy City ISD for their hospitality last week for us up in the booth. I appreciate those guys. And, you know, Coach, let's talk about last week's game. The game started off hot, and then later turned into a game that showed resilience, it showed grit, it showed brotherhood, like Coach Mack always says. And, you know, in the last quarter of the game when we had key players sidelined, I'm going to show you this play right here, and this is one play I've seen all weekend. And
I can't tell who's in at quarterback. Is that?
I guess it's Beavers.
Yeah, because Daniels is over here with his helmet in his hand.
Beavers takes a snap. Going to run them, keep the ball. Try to go around the outside.
He's not getting. Oh, he's getting a push.
Yeah, he got a push from his lineman.
Yep.
Going to take it down to the 43-yard line.
So let's talk about that play. You know, that was one where we were in a big formation, right?
Yeah, we have a name for it. We practice it.
We do.
Usually Levi is one of those three, but in the situation that we had, Levi had to go to Q. And I mean, it's a pretty simple concept what we're doing there, and it's you know, I tell the kids we're just going to run over their face.
Right.
And that's what we did for 9 plays.
Right. So let's go over the scoring touchdowns that we had.
Daniels and Morris in the backfield. He found it. Yes, sir. That's going to be an FBC roofing touchdown.
Morris is taking the snap there. He bounces off of one defender,
Still
bounces off of another, and he's able to walk in to the end zone.
Right, that's it.
Morris going to go to the right side, finds a hole. He breaks off one, and he's able to get in for the Warrior touchdown.
So we started off scoring 21 points in the first half of the game. Quarterback Jarmez Daniels would put us on the board first with a 7-yard touchdown run to put us up 7-0. And then later on in the first, Marlin Morris would come in for quarterback. Daniels had to come out of play because he had his helmet knocked off. And, I mean, that's a rule. Once your helmet gets knocked off, you have to come out for a play. And then Morris would punch it in for a touchdown. And then he would throw a pass for a 2-point conversion to Kendall Wolf, and that would make the score 15-0. And then moving along to the second quarter, Morris would tack on another touchdown, this time 13 yards out, and a failed PAT would send us in the half, 21-6. So I'm not going to get into anything as far as players-wise, but can you talk about some key moments that you felt like made the difference in the game?
Well, you know, we preach all the time to our kids about the third phase of the game. Third phase of the game is special teams. You know, how big was that 2-point conversion? As we're sitting here right now, it was huge. It was the difference in the ball game. You know, we work on that stuff, and we make it important. And, you know, we make special teams make it pressure situations because I want the opponent to have to work on our special teams more than we have to work on our special teams, and that's why we run the swinging gate. That's why, we do what we do on punt. We do those things to make people work on them and put them in pressure situations.
So, how close to a game like this keep you? How does it help the team grow moving forward?
We got in an unfortunate situation, with cramps and all that other stuff, that we didn't have many bullets left in the gun, arrows left in the scabbard, if you would, for the Warriors. And, we had a plan, and it worked. We turned to Levi and said, go win this football game, and that's what we did.
Oh, he did all right. He did. So this week we draw the Winsboro Raiders, led by Coach Josh Finney. And before we break down the Red Raiders, let's take a minute and watch a preview of the Winsboro Red Raiders, brought to you by CBS 19 out of East Texas.
Winsboro Raiders are taking this year personally. Last season, they went 13 games undefeated until being met with the Malakoff Tigers, who ended up being the state champs. But the Raiders, they have a chip on their shoulder from that one loss and are ready to get after the 2024 season.
Defense ready. The Winsboro Raiders are coming into this season with vengeance and a will to get to state. And they think they could do it since they're
tough. I mean, we've always felt like we're the toughest team out there.
But it's going to take more than toughness to beat out even the likes of just their district.
Our competition is stacked. I mean, Mount Vernon, Malakoff. I mean, they're no slouches. I mean, we're definitely got to step up our game for sure. But I mean, I think we can handle everything they throw at us.
The Raiders do have a lot of returners, but they lost two key playmakers. One being receiver Will Wilcox, and the next is coach's son and quarterback Kyler Finney.
Well, I'm glad my son's gone because my grocery bill just went down. But he's at Harding, and then Wilcox kid at wide receiver, he's at Henderson State. Nolly Carroll's ready to step into the quarterback position, and he's been groomed for this, ready to go in this. And then, we have some receivers. The Camden K Part just won 100-meter state track meet, and then we got Shane Tedford. So, we got some pieces of the puzzle ready to go.
Receiver Shane Tedford and quarterback Nolly Carroll have learned a lot from their graduating teammates, but they know their strengths and are ready to take over.
The biggest thing about Kyler Finney is that he was just a great leader. I mean, he always picking up his teammates, always just picking everybody up. I'm pretty fast. I like to say Kyler Finney, I mean, he's not slow, but I think I'm just a little bit quicker. But, I mean, he's a great passer, and I think of myself as a great passer. So, I mean, we're both just very confident in our game.
Just learning just to let it go. Just put the play behind you, just next play, because every play, take something from it. Because one play you can learn something from the corner. Maybe it could lead to your next release. Just taking every play and putting it behind you.
They get their season started against Tatum on August 30th. Now make sure you look out for our Under the Lights mobile desk at that game and tune in every Friday on CBS 19 for our East Texas football coverage.
All right, this week. Wow, that was really loud. So we're going to face Winsboro. I mean, that's a team that we. Sorry. That we face. We saw during the summer. We saw them at the Lyman Challenge. There's some big guys on that offensive and defensive line. What are some threats you're going to see from the Winsboro Red Raiders?
Well, they got the fastest kid in Texas. A kid running 10.300 at state track meeting. He's a dang good football player. I don't even know if he's been tackled yet. And he's got, I think, 4 touchdowns. But, their little quarterback come in, and he was on JV last year, and he can sling it. They're very balanced. They got a good running back, 23. He can pound you. He's about 190 pounds. As you mentioned, we saw him at a lineman challenge, and, they rolled in there with about 25 linemen. So they have the advantage of depth for sure. They lost a lot of touchdowns off last year's team, so they had a lot to replace. So we'll see. I like our chances.
Well, let's move it along to talk about a little bit of college football.
All right.
Let's talk a little bit of Sooner talk. You know, this was a weekend that you saw your Oklahoma Sooners barely squeak by the University of Houston 16-12. Jackson Arnold threw 2 touchdowns. And then this week they take on the Tulane Green Wave in Norman. And then you start SEC play the following week with number 7 Tennessee coming to Norman. Did you get a chance to watch any of the Sooners game?
I watched the playback. I don't know, I guess Monday or Tuesday night. I thought they were very good defensively. You know, Houston's always got athletes. You can draw a circle around Houston 15 miles and have enough athletes play college football.
Right.
So they're always athletic. And you know they give people some problems. They're in the Big 12 now. I thought at times Oklahoma looked very good offensively. At times I think they sputtered a bit. They still got a couple of receivers that aren't back yet, though, that when they get them back, I think it's going to be a difference.
Well, you beat me in week 1.
Yeah.
You went 4-1. I went 3-2. We both picked Texas, so we got the check mark there. You went with Arkansas. I went with Oklahoma State. I got that one. UC Davis. It was tied at halftime. I mean, it was a close game with Commerce and UC Davis. Ultimately, UC Davis pulled ahead, so I didn't get that game. We both picked Utah, and then I went for the upset with Tulane over Kansas State, and you got that one. So this week, we got a little bit different group. So we're going to go Alabama and Wisconsin for the first game.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Okay, I'll take Alabama. Texas Tech and North Texas.
Texas Tech.
I'll take Tech. Oregon and Oregon State.
Ooh. You know, that's an in-state rivalry that is went way back. And I don't think Oregon is as good as they're publicized to be, but I think they're still good enough to beat Oregon State. So I'll go Oregon.
All right, I'll go Oregon as well. I mean, we're gonna get to one where it's gonna be the decider here. So we got Colorado and Colorado State.
I think Colorado is a show. I don't know that it's a program. I think it's a show.
Yep.
And the head coach at Colorado State used to be an offensive coordinator at Oklahoma.
Yep.
So give me the Rams and Colorado State.
I'll take Deion's Buffaloes. And then we got Texas A&M and Florida.
That's tough. I'm just going to say gig them. I think A&M's going to have I think A&M's got a good football team.
All right. I'll take Florida. Now, let's talk about these two games. What do you on this Texas A&M Florida game? What do you feel like there's something in common there? Do you know?
No.
Okay, so Terry Bussey, DJ Lagway were both Mr. Texas footballs.
Oh wow.
Yep. So Lagway played at Willis High School. Of course, Terry played at Timpson, but they were both selected as Mr. Texas football.
Terry's doing a good job over there, and I'm proud of him.
Speaking of that, I've got a video of his first touchdown. Let's watch it.
Terry Bussey gets around the corner. The punt returner is now on offense, and he hits the home run. 65 yards.
On the jet sweep.
It's different. It's 38 pops, what we call it.
38 pop. Well, Coach, just a reminder, we're going to, for everybody that doesn't know, we're going to be playing at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock kickoff,
Yep,
yes.
Friday night. I believe you have to buy your tickets online. I've asked someone at Winsboro, and I said, hey, is there anywhere that can we purchase it at the game? They told me no. So we just might need to verify that.
Yes.
I've had several people ask me about that, and we'll see what they say. But, Coach, I appreciate it. We're going to cover I don't think the rankings changed any. As far as Dave Campbell's goes, we stayed the same. We're at number 3. I believe there's some other polls we moved down. I don't care. It really doesn't matter, does it?
Rankings don't matter.
It don't matter.
It's not college football.
No, it doesn't matter. So, Coach, thank you for having me. Thanks for being on here.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be right back with Kobe and Dre Patt, the Pat Attack. We'll talk to those two guys. Thank you.
Go Warriors.
Check. 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 See, I can't hear that. Live with the Pat Attack. Sorry for that, guys. We had a little technical difficulties.
It's all good.
But we have Dre and Kobe Patt here. Glad to have you guys.
I'm glad to be here, Scotty.
Good to be here.
So let me get it going, guys. I apologize. It's been one of them days where nothing has worked correctly.
It's all good.
So we'll get there. We'll get there. So Dre. Oh, we're good? Okay, we're good. Hudson's telling me we're good. All right. So back with senior wide receiver DB Dre Patt and his brother junior Kobe Patt. Guys, thanks for joining us. Both of you guys are really active in the community, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, you both serve in the Beta Club. Kobe, you're in the band. You both play football. You both power lift. You both do track. And you've had an active influence on your church's youth program, right? So tonight, you guys, we got to get you out of here because you have to go to Driven.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So tell the crowd, what is Driven?
It's a little thing run by Pastor Shannon McGuire and a few other people. Missy Middlebrook, that's the last name. Middlebrough. Mixed Victoria Barnes. Every Wednesday about 6:45, we all meet up at the square. Brother Shannon will take us on the bus to Paris New Generation in Paris, Texas, and they feed us. We get the word, and then we get to have fun for a little bit, play basketball, whatever else they have there.
So, where's that located at?
I don't know the exact address, but it's in Paris, Texas.
It's in Paris. But what church is it?
Paris New Generation.
Okay. All right. So, you both work for your family's business, right? Free Smoke.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Where the smoke is free.
Where the smoke is free, right? So I'm your neighbor, so I get to smell those aromas across the park. I get to taste test every once in a while. Tell us a little bit about Free Smoke and how your dad started that business.
Well, just about our whole lives, our dad has been, cooking everything and there, like cooking crawfish, just kind of all types of seafood. But one day, probably around 2020, 2019, he just kind of fell off more of seafood and started cooking like more barbecue. So in about 2021, he got a trailer, he got a blue trailer, and he just started cooking barbecue. And he was like, we need a barbecue name. So I was like, we got to brainstorm, and then it just hit him. He was like, all right, I like Free Smoke. So he came up with like a little brand, whatever. We started going places, catering places, selling food, the traditional barbecue stuff, brisket, pulled pork.
So what is the favorite thing that your dad makes?
Hey, it's this thing called a Mac Bowl. Oh my gosh, he's like,
Kobe's getting excited.
He put like, what's this, macaroni, brisket, with brisket and bacon bits. Right. Put some what you call it, home crunchy barbecue sauce on it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So guys, your dad is Dre Patt, 1990 alumni of Honey Grove, and your cousin Zach Patt, who played for the Rice Owls. Both Honey Grove legends in my book, right? But do either one of y'all feel the pressure of living up to what those guys were as far as football? You go first.
Me personally, I don't feel no pressure because, it's not just like it's me only. I'm the only one out here playing. No, I don't know. I guess I could just say I don't feel no pressure. I've been playing since a young age and seeing I've getting better and better. And if I have a bad game, my dad's there for me. He tells me, you still got next game, whatever, blah, blah, this and that. So, no, I don't feel no pressure from it.
I definitely don't feel no pressure. Fun fact, Scotty, I'm the first lineman, Pat, to ever come through.
Yeah.
So I start my own legacy right now, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. My kid's going to be lineman.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're also cousins with Dion and Rylan. Dion, who's now at Southeastern. Rylan, who's a 4-star running back. How's that been playing with those guys and growing up with those guys?
We moved here about like 2015, and the four of us, we've all been pretty close. Core four, I like to call it. And I played with Rylan my whole life. We're in the same class. But when I played with Dion, some just struck. I feel like we were all together, but more together. It was so much fun. I miss him.
I'm not going to talk about the first time me and you met.
It wasn't like that. I to this day, and I stand on that.
I won't tell that story.
We won't got to speak on it.
We won't.
Got to speak on it.
We won't.
No,
we won't. So, Dre, you've been to powerlifting been to state the last 2 years. Third place finish last year. How has Coach Fletcher helped change the way you approach powerlifting? Because you've been doing it for 3 years. This will be your 4th year, but you really struck gold in your sophomore year, your junior year by going to state. But how has he helped from freshman year to now?
Oh man, I would say he helped me show my potential. Cause my freshman year I squatted 330, which I did more than that in the weight room. So like the stuff really wouldn't help. Which I had a different coach back then, which was a great coach. But Coach Fletcher, he just helped me like show my full potential. Like I remember him telling me, he was like, "Yeah, your sophomore." It was my sophomore year. He was like, "Your squat about 430." I looked at him like this because I didn't think I could get past 365, which I ended up squatting 425. So that's pretty good. And Coach Fletcher, he brings out the best in you in whatever sport he coaches.
So true.
So true. Yep. So, do you want to pursue powerlifting in college, or is football on your mind, or what is something that you want to do?
I haven't really put much thought in what I'm gonna do after high school. I'm just being flat out honest. But if a sport opportunity comes, I'm most likely going to pursue it.
Okay. So the next question is for Kobe. Kobe, you've been a part of the historical Honey Grove High School marching band since middle school.
Yes, sir.
Right. You've had multiple trips to San Antonio. You play tuba. How hard is it to juggle playing under the lights on Friday night and then stepping out there and marching with the band at halftime?
I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's a lot of fun. It does have its moments, though. State marching trip, if we don't make finals, I do got to come back for football practice. But it's fun. I meet a lot of people in the band, and I'm getting better physically down here at football, and it really keeps me busy during the fall, so I enjoy it.
So what's been one of your favorite moments in band?
It's always the area contest, the contest right before state. We somehow always have a blast right before that for some reason. I don't know why.
Trey's laughing like he already knows.
No. What are you laughing for?
No. I'm not laughing at band.
So guys, who's been someone that you have admired playing sports, and who you've looked up to in this journey?
Let me go first. I looked up to a couple of people. First one is this short dude sitting next to me. Household, school, on the field, wherever. He's always been a big influence on my life. Another person is Courtney Cooper. I feel like a big brother to me when I got to high school, and he got all-district offensive lineman of the year last year and the year before, and I tried to be like him, maybe a little better.
So fun fact, I think Courtney Cooper might be helping us this week with the broadcast.
Oh my God.
He rode back with me Friday night, and we had a long conversation. He's doing great at Commerce, but I think he's going to help us a little bit along the way as far as Tomahawk goes. But I mean, those are two great choices, Kobe. So, Dre.
I want to try to make this emotional, but I'm going to have to say Kobe too, because like off season comes, and if you know anything about Honey Grove football and Shane Fletcher, we have a pretty tough off season. We go out there, we get to work every day, Monday through Friday, Tuesday through Friday. And me personally, I consider myself the hardest worker in the room until I look at him. Like he's giving it all and more. He's giving it all you want to see, and it shows on the football field. You watch Kobe the whole football game, you're gonna say he's a heck of a player and he doesn't give up. And another person I would have to say my older cousin Deion Morris. Last year, I've been playing with him since I've been in the third grade. He's always just had his athleticism, but I've never seen him work as hard as he did his senior year. Like at practices, the running back, you get through, you run about 10 yards. Deion gonna run all the way to the touchdown and get back and run the same play over and over and over. And yeah, Deion, he doesn't give up either.
So Dre, I'm gonna end it with you. I don't like talking about this, but you were injured at the state 7-on-7 tournament, and this past July at College Station. There's a message on this board in our weight room that says we go as three goes, right? To me, and I've said this numerous times, you are the heartbeat of this team. You've been the constant voice on the sidelines, in the weight room, in the classroom, and you've been that way ever since I've known you. What would you tell your teammates and future athletes about what does it mean to be a Honey Grove Warrior?
Brotherhood. Our coaches preach it. I'm preaching it now, you know what I'm saying, because I can't be out there to do what I want to do, but it's brotherhood. You got to do it for the person in the hat next to you, man.
Well, I mean, that's one voice that I hear Friday nights. I think it's contagious because you say it, the next person says it, the next person says it. And so, that's what winning programs do. Everybody's speaking the same tone. Well, guys, I hope I haven't made you late for church, but thank you guys for being on here. Tell your dad I'm sorry it took me so long to get to you guys, but appreciate it. And, guys, y'all have a safe afternoon, okay?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. So coming up next, we're gonna talk to, or actually, we're gonna go into the Jake Shockley Players of the Week, and I've kind of changed this up, and it's the Breakthrough Player of the Week, and it's gonna be Boogie LaShaw. You know, this is Boogie's first year on varsity. He got some valuable reps in the playoff game against Centerville last year, and this year, his senior year, he's taken those lessons and has applied it to the gridiron. So last week, Boogie had 100, had 13 tackles, 9 solos, and 2 tackles for loss for the defense last week. So congratulations to Boogie on being the Jake Shockley Breakthrough Player of the Week. And then we got our Defensive Player of the Week. It's going to be Mason Banker. Mason racked up 152 tackles last season as a sophomore for Larry McFarland defense. Last week against Marlin, Mason led the team in tackles with 15 tackles, 8 solo tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterbacks pressure. So congratulations to Mason on being the Jake Shockley Player of the Week. And then moving on, we're going to go to what I call the MVP of the week. We pretty much had to put it in his hands, and he had to be the workhorse along with the O-line and his diesel set. But Levi was solid on defense, racking up 11 tackles, 3 solo tackles. And then on the offensive side of the ball, that's where Beavers would shine on Friday night. He had a 21-yard reception. He rushed for 47 yards, and he had to fill in at quarterback in one of the most important drives that I've seen in the past 4 years. So Beavers in the Honeygrove offensive line would pound the rock for almost 6 minutes to escape with the 21-20 win. For that, Levi Beavers is your Jake Shockley Insurance MVP of the week. Also want to recognize Mason Banker. He was listed as a defensive player for the Central team on Smoky.com, so congratulations to Mason there. And then, guys, when we get right back, we're going to talk to one of my favorite coaches. He was also on a TV show who won a 3-time Teen Choice Award, Hudson Milford, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back with Coach Hudson Milford. I'm smiling because you know where it's going to go at the end, right?
Let's do it, baby.
All right, let's do it. So, Hudson, thank you for joining us today. You know, I put on their quarterback coach, but what are some other duties that you have for the Honey Grove Warriors?
Oh, man, anytime I get asked this question, I always say, you know, I'm the energy guy. Even though sometimes my energy gets overshadowed by Coach Mack, it's hard to keep up with that guy. He's an inspiration to all of us, coaches, players alike, to this entire community, to this county. We love Coach Mack. But I'm the energy guy, man. I try to bring it. Whatever I'm doing, I try to bring it. I was very, very honored that Coach Fletcher provided me that title after my first year of helping with the running backs. Coach Fletcher said, "Hey, I need you to take over my quarterback room." And without saying exactly what I said to him, I assured him that was the correct decision. So it's an honor. We've got a great quarterback room. The past 2 years it's been loaded again. But man, I help out with the offense. Coach Lopez and I, we take care of a lot of the passing game, and that starts on the weekend through the weekend work. But throughout the weekend practice, we take care of a lot of the passing game while Coach Banker and Coach Fletcher are down there with the O-line taking care of the run game.
So you were an All-Texoma Land wide receiver. You're All-District wide receiver. What is the Heart of a Jacket Award?
So the Heart of a Jacket Award, man, that was given to me by Cody White, who was my head coach AD in Denison. It was a team-voted award. My senior year, unfortunately, I tore my ACL week 3. We won't talk about how, if you do know how. But I tore my ACL week 3, and through that, very similarly to how Dre has been able to transition. I transitioned into a leadership role, and it was a blessing for me. And years later, I now see just kind of the way that God works, man. He's mysterious, and at the time I saw it as he took something from me my senior year, but he gave me a platform to be able to kind of step into a leadership, a coaching role as a 17, 18-year-old kid. So the team voted me the Heart of a Jacket Award for much of the same things that I'm doing now, just kind of leading and coaching and giving the game back.
Well, that kind of took my next question away because you played some college ball at Louisiana Christian. You know, I was going to ask you what attracted you to coaching, but it sounds like your injury kind of helped you decide, hey, this is the kind of role that I want to take later in life. It
did, man. My injury showed me that I loved it, that I could impact the game from the sideline. But one of my biggest heroes in life is my grandfather, Dwayne Nutt. It's my mama's daddy, and he was a head coach, a head football coach as well. He was the head coach at Austin College for a short amount of time, and I call him Patch. My Patch is a huge role model for me, and he's just turned 91 a couple days ago. So happy birthday, Patch! I love you, man. We'll get 58 pass in the playbook.
So you were raised here in Honey Grove. I mean, I've known you since you were a little kid, and you strapped up some. You talked about Denison, but you also strapped up the orange and white on Friday night.
Oh yeah.
You know, tell us about your playing time here in Honey Grove, and is there a difference in the players now versus when you played?
Oh, absolutely. So I was very fortunate to play under my head coach was Todd Morrison, who is now superintendent here at Honey Grove, and he entrusted me with the starting free safety position as a freshman, and then game 3 of the season, unfortunately, there was an injury to the senior quarterback, and the rest is history, man. My first start here at Honey Grove was right out there at Warrior Stadium. It was homecoming. Came away with a victory, and it just so happens that victory was against Blue Ridge, and it just so happens that the coach on the other side was Kevin Wiggins.
So we're going to have Coach Wiggins on the broadcast next week, and I'll bring that one up.
Yeah.
I'll see if does he remember that game?
100%. He knows exactly how it happened too. So that was my first start here, man, and I was fortunate to play with some great players. My freshman year, as the quarterback, I had a senior offensive line, and there are very few things you could ask for more as a 14-year-old kid than to have a bunch of 17 and 18-year-olds blocking for you. And one of those guys was Chase Banker, who is now a mentor for me here on the staff. But my sophomore year, a lot of the same. Played with some great guys, man. Very fortunate to have grown up here in Honey Grove.
So you played several different positions in high school. Which one was the most challenging on Friday nights, and how do you think that helps connect with the players on our Friday nights now?
Quarterback was always a natural position for me. Being vertically challenged caused some issues there, eventually going to Denison and not being able to see over that offensive line. But slot receiver was more challenging to me because there was a learning curve. But it was so much fun for me to be able to block, to be able to run a route, get open, catch the ball, try to go score and help out my team.
So in your family, you have several Texas A&M alumni.
Whoop!
What has been your favorite 12th man memory?
Oh, 12th man memory. Well, I've got kind of an infamous memory, and before Dennis Franchione's first game as the head football coach at Texas A&M, I was fortunate enough to be down at field level, and right before he took the field in his first game, I ran up to him and I said, Coach Fran, good luck, man. Happy to have you here. I was probably 10 years old, I don't know, 11, 12. And he shook my hand, and then he walked onto the field at Kyle Field, and he had an absolutely atrocious career as a head football coach. So I think,
your fault.
yeah, I think one of those losses was about 77 points to Boomer Sooner. But yeah, man, there have been so many good memories, man. My dad was class of '85. His dad, my papaw, graduated from there. My papaw's brother, my great uncle Murray, graduated from A&M. He was the head of soil sciences there, taught there for a number of years, Dr. Murray, and he's been inducted there at Texas A&M. So long lineage.
So you were a coach on last year's regional semifinal team, basketball team.
Yes, sir.
You know, that was your first year coaching here with Coach Homer Garner.
Yes, sir.
How has football helped you transition into basketball?
Oh, man, it's thankfully here at the 2A level, it's a lot of the same kids. So you learn these kids, and you learn how they tick. You learn how you can coach them and some things that might not work as well coaching those kids. But Homer taught me a lot. Coach Garner has taught me a lot about basketball. I played here, obviously, when I was here, but playing the game and coaching the game are two different things. So being here around the way that you prepare for each game. Obviously, in basketball, you play twice a week, but there's still a preparation there. We still watch film on the other team. We still put in certain packages and movements and things just like football.
So what was your favorite moment last year on the basketball court?
Playoff wins were awesome. I don't know, man. Lucas's game-winning three in the North Hopkins tournament.
So that was the picture. I'll put it
Did
back
you
up
show
there.
that? Yeah.
I'll put that back up there.
Lucas is, oh, man.
Just look at your energy.
Oh.
You know, of course, Homer's being Homer.
He's cool as a cucumber.
He's cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
And then you're excited.
Oh, man.
You're up in it.
Oh, man. So obviously we were led by four really good seniors last year. Lucas Morrison, Court Garner, Kedron Leeshaw, and Courtney Cooper. Great veteran leadership, great seniors. They did it from all angles, offense, defense, rebounding, coming off the bench, starters, it didn't matter, hustle guys, passing. So, no, but Lucas's shot, man, it was awesome.
That was probably the district championship.
Oh, for sure. Beating Sam twice, yeah.
And that game was back and forth.
Sure it was.
And it's, the one at home.
Yeah.
That was my favorite, probably one of my favorite games in basketball.
Court pulled up from the logo.
Yep. So you played with a guy by the name of Jordan Taylor at Denison.
Yes, sir.
He was an undrafted wide receiver out of Rice who went on to win a Super Bowl in Super Bowl 50 with Peyton Manning.
Yes, sir.
The Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers 24-10.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Cool story. We talked about this before you came on.
Yeah.
So Jordan broke his collarbone his senior year, be your junior year, right?
No, we're the same class.
Oh, same class.
So it was our junior year. So we're at McKinney High. The final score ended up 65-64. We ended up winning. Jordan broke the line, and he was headed for the safety. He jumps over the safety, completely hurdles the safety, and when he comes down, kind of loses his balance, gets tackled from behind, breaks his collarbone. He came out for a total of 1 play with a broken collarbone, and he proceeded to finish the game. We scored. We could kick the extra point to tie. And Coach White looked at Jordan and he said, what do you want to do here? And Jordan had I mean, for obvious reasons, I've later broken my collarbone, so I know why. He had tears rolling down his face, and he looked Coach White in the face and he said, give me the ball. And he ran it in for a 2-point conversion so that we won 65-64. Just a great player, man, great guy, one of my best friends. And he was fortunate enough to go to the Broncos. Peyton Manning gets hurt that year, and Jordan kind of is Peyton's rehab receiver. So Peyton would call Jordan. They'd go out, run routes, and Jordan kind of helped get Peyton back onto the field, fortunate enough to be a Super Bowl champion.
So who's been an instrumental person for you here at Honey Grove? I mean, you got a ton of them to choose from.
Too many names to name. Obviously, Coach Fletcher. He and Mr. Morrison called me when I was looking for a job here, trying to get in the coaching field, and there are some great stories with that. Probably ought to keep those off air, but those two guys have been instrumental in giving me a chance, giving me a shot. But there's not a single coach that walks into that coach's office that hasn't played some sort of part in getting me to this point. And I thank each and every one of them very much. Each teacher that walks the hallways, we've got great kids here at Honey Grove ISD. We're very fortunate. But there are so many people, and it's not just people that work at the school district, members of the community, the school board. Everybody's been very much supportive of me coming back to Honey Grove, where it all started for me. And I'm very thankful, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
So what would you tell the young guys that want to get into coaching?
Do it early. Do it early. If it's something you want to do and you know you want to do it, do it early. Choose a major as you go through college. Choose a major in which can help you translate directly into the classroom. I just finished my alternative certification, and that was a grueling process, to say the least. So do it early. Choose a major that can get you into the classroom, but there's so much joy I get from these kids, pre-K through 12, and I love what I do every day.
I think they love you too. I mean, I think you're probably one of Bo's favorite people.
I love Bo too.
And
love you, Bo.
It's funny you say love you, Bo, but Bo watches this every single night. This is what he'll get on the podcast and he'll watch a podcast, and I mean, it's every single night. I'll think that somebody's on my phone or my phone's ringing, but it's Bo in there listening to the podcast. So you guys have been a positive influence not only on him but my other two. But in your 2 seasons here at Honey Grove, what do you do to get pumped up for a game?
Oh man, so I am super superstitious.
Coach, hey, is it because you're a baseball guy?
Well, yeah, man, I'm a baseball guy first.
Right.
And in baseball, I mean, baseball was my first love. But in baseball, you want to keep a routine.
Right.
I'm big on routine, and Coach Lopez was on here last week. He's big on routine. He does the fist bumps, and we all go through very similar routine. But, man, I'm down to the socks.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm down to the socks. It's got to be right. I've got to feel good in order for it to all be good, man. But Tate Banker and I, we do a 2 slap when we do a hand. I mean, I've got handshake with Marlin. I've got handshake with Mez, very gentlemanlike. I've got different quirky things with the guys, man. But in preparation, I'm so fortunate to be able to look to Coach Fletcher and to Coach Mack and to Coach Wiggins, who have been successful head coaches. So fortunate.
So before I get you out of here,
yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Before you go home to Kyler and Bennett, I gotta show
Can't
this
wait.
picture. I gotta show this picture. Okay.
Oh man.
If I should have brought the video. I had the
No,
video.
I'm very thankful you didn't. The
Okay,
pictures.
So it's season 4.
It is.
Episode 17.
It is. It
Okay.
gets the worst at night.
Gets the worst at night.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
so let's talk a little bit about One Tree Hill.
Okay.
And, it has a cult following now.
Oh, 100%.
You get on TikTok and you search Honey Grove, Texas, and One Tree Hill is going to pop up.
It does.
And on that episode, you're a DJ.
DJ Huddy Hamstring.
Okay, and then several of your classmates are in different scenes. But tell us all about how One Tree Hill came to Honey Grove.
Okay, so my freshman year, my sister Hannah was a senior, and there were a few of her friends and I, and we watched One Tree Hill every Wednesday when it came on. Well, there was a contest to get One Tree Hill to come to your town and film.
Sunkiss.
Sunkiss sponsored it. Sorry, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper.
Hey, it's all under the same product.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal.
Same brand.
Good deal. Yeah. So that's natural. And there were a huge number of entries into that contest, and they picked us, man. And it was unbelievable when it happened. Mark Schwann, the writer for One Tree Hill, they showed up. He and Hillary Burton, and they came to the high school gym, which is now middle school, and
Had a pep rally, right?
had an assembly, man. It was a huge deal. It was like a movie. I know it was a TV show. It was like a movie. It was unbelievable.
When I watched the video today, just watching them transform the old gym into a prom setting was crazy.
It was so cool.
Because, how many basketball games took place in that gym and just to see it.
Legendary.
As a prom set.
Yeah.
So.
It was cool, man. We got to spend kind of the week with the cast and
I saw
crew.
some basketball footage.
Little James Lafferty footage, man. I had my headband on, Cody Battle, Jordan Finney, those guys were a part of that. Zach Patt.
Who dunked on that?
Jordan Finney.
Yeah.
Jordan dunked, Finney Foods. Zach Patt was a part of that team. He had a spot earlier, and actually he played at Rice with Jordan Taylor. Oh, wow. So there's a big connection there too. So it's a small world.
It gets better and better every week.
It does. It does. There's a connection there.
Stories that we have. And stuff like that.
So Jordan and Zach played together at Rice, and I played here with Zach and there with Jordan, and it's cool, man.
He played with Peyton Manning.
So it's kind of like I played with Peyton Manning.
It's like, we'll come up with, it's like, what's it called?
It's unbelievable.
Kevin Bacon. What do they say? I don't know.
You know
what I'm talking about.
2 degrees of separation? Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Anyway, cool deal, man. It's a small world, but our story's already written, man.
Well, Huddy, I appreciate you coming by.
Thanks,
Scotty.
Scotty.
We're the last 2 here.
Hey, man.
That's
We'll close
right.
it down.
We'll shut it down, and I guess we'll go ahead and keep going. Some of my graphics ain't loading, but
hey, before you do, I'd like to say something, man. We appreciate, as a community, as a coaching staff, we appreciate all you do, man.
Thank you.
All you and your crew. I know you've got a crew that helps out.
I got cousin Zach.
Yeah.
He helps out a lot, and I got Aiden working, and Carson working, and I can't really say Bo working because I've heard so many stories from the Marlin game that
I saw him dancing
he was down there
there.
dancing.
Yeah, that's okay. Bo can cut a rug, man, and I'm sure
that's all right. He turned around and had a heck of a game on Saturday. Had
Good.
12 tackles.
Good.
And so, but no, I appreciate everybody's kind words, and this is my way of giving back to the community. I'm not a millionaire by no means, and so this is my way of giving back to our kids and our community. And if it wasn't for our sponsors, I couldn't do any of this or
Trailer guys.
Trailer guys.
Trailer guys,
Thank
among
you for the
others.
Polos.
Thank you, guys.
I'll keep saying that each week. And then a very understanding wife.
Oh, man.
That's been the best part of this is Becca's been so understanding. I mean, you know how it goes.
Oh, 100%. My wife is the best, man. She takes care of Bennett. She works a full-time job, comes home and is a full-time mom. And
yeah, I love those Bennett stories that I see on Facebook.
he's unbelievable. And my wife is hilarious, so
I know.
she tells great stories. My son is I got to be careful, man, but my wife and my son are awesome, man. So very thankful for them. Love them so much.
So, Huddy, we're going to take a small break.
Yes.
We're going to come back. We're going to introduce, our business spotlight, Dylan Bloodworth with Bloodworth Services. He's not
Sweet.
here. He's out of town, but we went ahead and did the questionnaire, and I just kind of want to share a few things about him and Bloodworth Services, and then got a few announcements we got to make, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. But we'll be right back. Just remember that the game this week is at 7 p.m. in Winsboro. I will find out if we have to have tickets before we get there, but just bear with me. I'll post it on Facebook tonight. But give me a few minutes. We'll be right back, and we'll cover the announcements and the business of the week. we're going to wrap this thing up. Before we do, we want to introduce our business spotlight of the week. It's going to be Bloodworth Services. So Dylan Bloodworth, he is the class of 2012. He lettered as a freshman for the Honey Grove Warriors, playing center, linebacker, punter, and kicker. His junior year, he went to state powerlifting. He placed 8th. Bloodworth Services was founded by Dylan after he found out that he had an ascending aortic aneurysm back in 2021. Dylan, who grew up being a fourth-generation craftsman, he remodeled houses and repaired homes with his father and his grandfather, and he was able to pick up the knowledge and experience. He went on to PJC for HVAC after high school, and he was able to get Bloodworth Services launched in 2022. Bloodworth Services is your everyday, anything handyman service, HVAC, and home repair right here in Fannin County. And I've used multiple HVAC companies, and I can honestly say that Dylan is going to be my HVAC man to go to. I used him this past summer, and I will not go back to another company. His eye for details and his prompt service is second to none. Give Dylan a call today at 903-227-0947. Or you can find him on Facebook at Bloodworth Services. So today's business spotlight, and thank you so much for your sponsorship, Dylan, is Bloodworth Services. Student section for Friday night is wear your tie-dye, tie up the Raiders. And then tomorrow night's junior high schedule, JV schedule, will be the 7th grade versus Winsboro, starting at 5 p.m. here at Warrior Stadium. The 8th grade is going to go on probably around 6:30, and I'm looking for the JV to go on about 8 o'clock. I'd like to welcome 2 new sponsors to Tomahawk Sports Media, Massey Monument Leveling, and then Lighten Services. Thank you to companies for believing in us and being a part of the Tomahawk Sports Media family. And then, as always, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Hidden Grove RV Park, Small Town Charm, Whitlock Air Services, The Rails, Jake Shockley's Insurance, Credit Union of Texas, Bryant Construction, The Trailer Guys, Bloodworth Services, Honey Grove Library and Learning Center, Tyndall's Meat, Moe's Trophies, Salon L, First Baptist Church of Honey Grove, The Moon Mart, Cattlemen's Livestock Commission, Right On Roofing out of Celeste, Texas, Eagerly Sought, Anna Deckert Realtor, 903 Threads, Ted Varner Farm Bureau, Gaither's Complete Welding, Fannin Bank, FBC Roofing, Matslock Cattle Company, Rapid Relief Mobile IV, Massey's Monument Leveling, and Lighten Services. Guys, thank you for being a part of Tomahawk Sports Media and our family, and thank you guys for all that you do for the Tomahawk Sports Media. Well, that's going to wrap it up. This is Scotty with Tomahawk Sports Media. I want to thank our guests again, Coach Shane Fletcher, Kobe and Dre Patt, Hudson Milford, and Dylan Bloodworth. Thank you for taking out the time to give us a little info on Bloodworth Services. Just as a reminder, I'm going to say it again, over and over again, so everybody knows the game time for Friday night is at 7 p.m. As Gervie Stone would say, forever and always, God bless and go Warriors.